Hi guys, Joe Kerins, Certified College Planning Specialist and Senior Planner with Elite Collegiate Planning and Paradigm Financial Group. Joined today with Dave Kozak, the Managing Partner of Paradigm Financial Group and Elite Collegiate Planning. Dave, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Looking forward to
So, in going through a lot of conversations now with students this time of year, students are starting to make their commitments to go to certain schools.
Yeah.
And you recently wrote a blog that I found fascinating where talking about college being just an emotional decision, not a financial one,
Yeah.
and how it sometimes can be detrimental
Yeah.
when you look at it that way. So,
Absolutely.
wanted to talk to you today about, what are your thoughts on that? What are some advice that you can give to whether it's parents or students out there? And how do you not just look at the emotional side, saying, I just want to go to this school without the financial repercussions that might be at the end of it?
Yeah. So, you know, the idea that kids have been prepared for this is kind of a falsity.
Mhm.
You know, they've been prepared that college is going to happen, that it is real. But the college landscape is one of absolute. It's kind of that unknown that develops, and the landscape shifts constantly. And for what we do as a company and for what kids experience, the idea is that we're trying to keep the child from falling in love with the school before the school falls in love with the child. And it's a polarizing environment because for most of your life, your parents' alma maters or Penn State or We Are,
Yeah.
whatever it may be, there's a lot of culture built around these institutions. And so you can fall in love with a school before you ever even get the opportunity to apply or know that you could go there or have an experience that is right for you. And unfortunately, in our profession, what we see is a lot of students. They have this college in mind that they want to attend, and they fall in love, and that is absolutely where they're going to go. And if they get in, they're going there. And it is such a financial decision.
Yeah.
That to allow your children to have that type of leeway, or even to allow them to believe that there's that leeway, can cause major financial problems for you, for them, student loan issues, retirement issues, all kinds of things. So I always like to say, you can like an institution, you can enjoy the campus, the life, the atmosphere, you can get into all that, but don't make a decision before they make a decision on you. Let them tell you what is the financial aid award, what scholarships are they going to grant you. Let them put their cards on the table first, because colleges, just like corporations, are non-feeling entities. They don't know you for who you are. They see you on a piece of paper and by a test score. And so if you decide that you're going to go somewhere, say an early decision, or, it's just your dream to do it, you're making a big time mistake. I'm not saying that you don't end up at the school of your dreams. I'm simply saying, let the school of your dreams tell you how good and important they think you are before you decide that it's the right institution for you. They've got a lot of money, and this is more so now than ever. This is a financial decision combined with an academic and major pursuit decision, right?
Yeah.
So you cannot allow the school. I mean, think about it this way. I can't tell you the amount of students that have come into our office wearing the shirt of some school
Yep.
that
Yep.
they visited last weekend, and I loved it. That's where I want to
Yeah.
go. I see myself there. And the financial aid award comes in, and the bill comes in, and it's 55, 65,000, and they've got these schools over here that are better for that major, and they cost 30,
Yeah.
28, 27, and they throw money at you. So make sure the school tells you how what they think about you before you just decide that it's right for you.
Yeah. And another big piece I think that goes into that is, our saying here at Paradigm is plan early, pay less.
Absolutely.
And it's not just about, EFC and financial aid,
No.
but what you just brought up, when you have multiple schools that are giving different offers, and you have one school that's giving 60, it's going to cost $60,000 to go, and another school that's going to be 30. If you are planning early enough, that you can have the discussions with your kids
Yeah.
about that, right? It's a lot easier to start planting the seeds on which schools make sense. The earlier you plan, the earlier you know your EFC, what potential financial aid awards, what exists out there, what a net cost may be as a sophomore versus a senior. Well, it's a lot easier to have that discussion over a few years rather than I want to go to the school and now all of a sudden you're telling me I can't.
Yeah, I mean,
You know,
think about it this way, right? You've basically enabled your child throughout their entire academic career to go anywhere they want. If they work hard enough, they can go to an Ivy League. If they do everything right, they can go to the United States Naval Academy. They can get into these schools. And then you're dealt this blow that, oh my gosh, this may cost $75,000. But we want the best for them. And that is a tough place to be as a parent. You know, I have 4 kids myself, and Joe, you have 3.
I have 3, yeah.
And when your child works really hard at something and they show you commitment, you don't want to be the one to break their heart,
Right, sure.
right? You want to be able to make that happen. So the other advice that I give, I think, is talk about money.
Yep.
Money is real. Money doesn't buy happiness, but money certainly, but happiness sure costs a certain amount for things,
Yeah.
right? And if your child's sense of happiness is going to be the institution they attend for higher education, they better understand the cost of that, both for you, for them, and how it plays out.
Yeah.
Right?
It's 4 years out of their life.
Yep.
Don't ruin your life because of 4 years.
Yeah, and you know, we have a copy in our conference room of Consumer Reports where it says going to college basically ruined my life.
Yeah.
And this person graduated with $152,000 of debt and a job, and she's going to make $60,000. That's a lot of work to just get to a point where you can think about buying a house and you can think about all the other things that matter in life.
Yeah.
And I'm not in any way downplaying a quality education, because it's I think the one thing people can't take from you.
Sure.
Right? But it is most certainly more now than ever a financial decision, as well as a decision of the launch of the child, right? I think the launch is what we're all hoping for. And I don't believe that any one institution is what's going to give you the launch, right? Some institutions will have a better network. They'll be able to get you better placement at first-time jobs. But think about your own career. How many times have someone asked you where you went to school after you performed well in your first job? Very rarely. So it is important to get a good education. But I also think that an education oftentimes is what the student makes of it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it's just because you went to the Wharton School at Penn that you're the best business mind that ever happened.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I know a lot of very successful people that went to subpar schools, and so keep that in mind as you're talking to your students, and don't be afraid to talk about money. They want to understand it, and there's nothing better than a fiscally responsible young adult. And so the only way to do that is to teach them.
Yeah. You have to have conversations about it.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's one of those things where we raise our kids, right? You know, it's funny. I joke about our profession where you grow up and you're always told, don't talk to strangers and don't talk about money.
Yep.
And now that's our job as a living, is we need to talk to strangers about their money.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing with kids. It's you have to talk about the finances.
Yeah.
Right. You don't want your student to be, part of that Our Magazine article where it says, I kind of ruined my life by going to college.
Yeah.
You don't want that. But at the same time, there are thousands of universities out there.
Absolutely.
You know, and finding the right school is not just about the emotional factor. It comes down to so much. And we just don't, I mean, I know when I'm dealing with a lot of my students and a lot of the parents that I'm working with right now is as you said, their mind gets set and it's kind of gets set in stone. And we have, students who they decide, hey, I'm going to this school because of a certain reason. And it might be as simple as I had someone come in, we got ahead of it, but they said, I don't want to go to a school where I have to clean my own bathroom.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, well, that's fine, but we're at the point now where we're building a school list. Now imagine that, hey, we have 3 schools on a list, 2 of them cost $20,000 a year where you have to clean your own bathroom, and the one you don't is $60,000. Now we're in trouble.
Yeah.
So again,
Absolutely.
talking early when you can build that school list and talk about money and talk about the net cost at these schools is really paramount. And building that school list as soon as you can. Again, you plan early, you pay less, right? There might be schools out there you don't even know exist that could be a perfect fit and cost a quarter of the price. of that school that the child might be in love
Again,
with.
I think the combination of finance and proper fit from an academic and a socialization standpoint is what makes this game successful. Let's remember that the brain isn't fully developed until age 25, 26, 27 for most adult humans. And so we're putting a very real and kind of lifetime decision in front of an underdeveloped brain.
Yeah.
And so you have to make sure that you're helping in that decision-making process. And the only way to help, plan early, pay less, it rings true. The more, and by plan early, I don't mean, put $1,000 in a 529, or I mean, look at the curriculum. Look at the strengths and weaknesses of the student. Help them get some self-awareness of who they are, what they like, what they're passionate about. When you go to high school, you're studying generic subject matter, right?
Yeah.
So everybody's studying the same thing. Some people are excelling, studying at faster levels. But at the end of the day, when you go to become a professional and you major in a subject matter, it is so refined that a single glimpse of passion in high school can turn into a prosperous career.
Yeah.
So if you can help students identify that passion of what really, what did they spend a night studying on Google because they found it so intriguing and so interesting? Okay, can that be a coursework in college? I use engineering as an example, right?
Sure.
There have to be 50 engineering degrees now, if not more. There used to be the big three, chemical, mechanical, electrical, and civil, right? But they've all branched off into so many different avenues. You've got nuclear, and you've got biotechnology, you've got computer science engineering. I mean, you can go on and on. Infrastructure. The big thing right now is obviously web security. There's all of this stuff. So the idea that a child has to know exactly what they want to do is false.
Mm-hmm.
They have to have a desire to learn and to know. I think another thing that's very important is, what does a career look like with that degree, right? I was a business and economics major, and I had a minor in psychology. I always figured that I could own and start and run my own business because I understood people, I understood business, and I understood economics. Well, what better place to land than in finance and planning and in estate planning and college planning and retirement planning, when you can bring all of that subject matter together. So again, I think the big picture here is talk to your kids. Don't ask them what they want to do. Help them understand what they enjoy. Help them understand what they could excel in. And if they show an interest, indulge in it. Take them, show them. Let them sit in a job of that profession or that interest, I go back to the example of a child wants to be a doctor because it's a very prosperous business, but they can't stand blood. Probably a bad decision, Help them understand this decision making.
Yeah.
So the psychology is a huge thing here.
Yeah. Appreciate it, Dave. I really enjoyed that article you wrote and why I wanted to bring it up and, doing one of these videos that we've been doing. So
absolutely.
Listen, guys, we have plenty more videos like this. Please like, subscribe, watch the other videos that we've already posted.
We really appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel and listening in. Our goal is to give you good content all the time, to stay ahead of the curve, make sure that you're having the conversations that nobody's telling you to have.
Yeah. Till next time, guys. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you and take care.